But first, the ongoing storm over Jacinta Price's immigration comments shows that the progressive elites have never forgiven her for defeating The Voice. She was the perfect person to lead that campaign, a passionate, committed, Walpurgis woman who rightly saw The Voice as reinforcing the victimhood and separatism that's at the heart of Indigenous disadvantage. Well, hell hath no fury like the progressive classes scorned. And that includes all the coalition MPs too who supported The Voice or who don't like Price's robust conservatism or her independent mind. As an Aboriginal Celtic woman, Price is a classic case of intersectionality. Yet she's always refused to pander to leftist stereotypes, hence the lineup of Liberals to disagree with her and to apologise on her behalf to the Indian community that was supposedly insulted by her remarks last Thursday.
Look, my view is there's just ongoing harm. I think it would be better to have an apology now.
For me, my decision was to participate in the conversation with the community yesterday and actually say I disagree with those comments. I believe that they are factually incorrect.
My colleague Jacinta Price said something this week that I will apologise unreservedly for.
Julie and Lisa apologised on Jacinta Price's behalf, so are you doing that as well?
Well, if necessary, sure, because at the end of the day, I want this conversation to move on.
Alex Hawke, who Price says called her office and berated her staff, said, quote, she wasn't being racist, but it came out that way.
I think if an apology was offered early on and just a quick walk back, that would have helped. But there's still time, and I think the community should hear from her, because I've heard from her, and I believe her. She didn't mean these comments. She wasn't being racist, but it came out that way.
I mean, that's really a bit rich. A white bloke claiming that an Aboriginal woman is coming across as racist. As Price has admitted, her original marks were clumsy. She should not have suggested that the Labor Party was deliberately bringing in migrants because they vote Labor. And yes, she should have dealt with it immediately on the Wednesday and moved on. But her real point was right, that overall immigration is currently too high and that the Labor Party is good, very good, at appealing to minority groups. A point that was validated by former Labor pollster Cos Samaras.
85% of the Indian diaspora voted for the Labor Party at the last election, or give thereabouts. It varies across the country.
What was the number, sorry, Cos?
About 85%.
And factually, the number of Indian-born people living in Australia has more than doubled over the decade. As the Australian Bureau of Statistics confirms, as of June 2024, 916,000 Indian-born people are living in Australia, and that's up from just 411 10 years ago. As the ABS notes, after the United Kingdom, the Indian-born population is the second largest migrant community in Australia. Now again, this is a statement of fact. Immigration is too high, and it's not wrong to hold that view, and it's not wrong to factually report the statistics. What is wrong is to somehow imply, though, that Indians are imported into Australia by Labor because many of them vote Labor. That's not accurate. We have a non-discriminatory immigration policy in Australia. They come because they meet our migration criteria, and once here, the reason they vote for Labor, as the Labor pollster has just confirmed they do in droves, is basically because Labor reaches out to them and not enough Liberals do. That's the truth of it. Labor invests in a relationship with migrant communities that stretches for years and years, not just the 6 weeks of an election campaign. Now, the Libs used to do this, particularly when Philip Ruddock was the immigration minister in the Howard era, and I saw it firsthand working for one of Ruddock's junior ministers. But not anymore. In my experience, not enough Liberals get out and about amongst migrant communities or turn up to their events. For all the talk from those MPs demanding that Price apologise, I want to know how many ethnic events you attended in the last couple of weeks, because I suspect it's far less than your Labor counterparts. The conundrum is that the Liberal Party should be the natural party of migrants because it's the party of small business, the family, education and aspiration. And while the Libs are jumpy over their poor vote amongst migrants, the real problem is the party's poor vote generally. What's needed is for the Liberal Party to improve its standing with all voters, frankly. And the way to do that, as I keep saying, it's not to set out specifically to win over minority groups by making a special and discreet pitch to them, or women, or young people. It's to make a strong pitch to the whole community, because in the end, women and young people, and migrants too, well, we all vote as citizens at least as much as we do as minorities. And sure, Price could have and should have handled this better, but this is a collective failure by a party that's lost its way. Why was it Susan Lee's power broker who called Price to try and bully her into an apology rather than the leader herself? I mean, if she wanted an apology, if she believed one was warranted, why didn't she call? Because leaders are the ones that need to pick up the phone. Why did it take 5 days for Lee to even speak with Price? The comments were made on Wednesday afternoon, and I know for a fact she didn't speak with Jacinta Price until Monday morning. What possessed Alex Hawke or someone on his behalf to call my colleague Andrew Clennell in a bid to get a story out of that event on Wednesday and make it critical of Price? That happened on Sunday, and this has kicked this whole thing along. And what possessed a conga line of Liberals to join a pylon against a colleague? Even when asked again today, the Liberal leader declined to say that she expected an apology from Price.
I know that the Senator is listening to the Indian community and hearing their words directly in many instances. And I think that's important, because where feelings are hurt, there needs to be a two-way dialogue and there needs to be an understanding.
Okay, so if she's not demanding an apology from Price today, why are all these other colleagues demanding one? For almost a week now, no Liberal or National MP has been able to go into the media without being asked about Price, and almost none of them have had the inclination or the ability, frankly, to change the subject. And that's also part of the problem. I mean, clumsy comments last Wednesday afternoon should have been sorted out by Wednesday night. Only they weren't, and because the party doesn't have any other strong policies to put on the table, because it's thrown everything in the air, as you know, for a review, because they haven't created any sort of contest with Labor, they end up talking about themselves. Prior to the last election, the Liberals said that immigration was too high and that permanent migration numbers should be reduced, but had nothing to say about temporary migration, which is a big part of the problem. Now, they need to start talking intelligently about the issues that are troubling Australians. Now, be that energy, education, crime, national security, or immigration. But in a way that's working towards solutions rather than just a critique of the other side. I mean, do the homework, take a position, argue about what's right for the country, not just what's best for the Liberal Party, and you might actually start winning votes, including migrant votes too.